He's taken Alabama basketball to places it's not been before, leading the team to its first ever Final Four appearance in April 2024, and an incredible offensive output in the Sweet 16, advancing to the Elite Eight in New Jersey last year. His unique path to the pinnacle of college basketball serves as an inspiration to aspiring coaches and those working at the high school level and small college. He started his coaching career as a Division III assistant coach in his home state of Wisconsin, moved to a high school coaching job for 11 seasons as a head coach and math teacher at Romulus High School outside of Detroit. While at Romulus, Coach Oats sold Cheetos, Capri Sun juice pouches, and Pop-Tarts to students to raise money for his basketball program. I don't know if I should ask for an NIL deal for reading that or be concerned about America's youth's health. Now entering his 11th season as Division I head coach, his analytical approach to the game is shaping the future of college basketball in many ways. 5 of Nate's assistants, in fact, have gone on to become Division I head coaches during the last 3 years. He's the proud daughter of 3 daughters, Lexi, Josie, and Brielle, who you can find at Alabama practices and games. Welcome Nate Oats to the stage.
Thanks, Craig. It's good to be here again. Annual appearance up here in Birmingham. Good thing for us, we don't have to drive too far. And got my oldest daughter, Lexi, here. She's trying to get into sports, so she's here. She will not be allowed to ask questions, though. So we're excited to get this thing going again. It feels like we've been going against each other. I mean, started in first week of June, you get to 8 weeks in the summer. You know, we started class the middle of August. We've been going for 2 months now. We've been kind of going against each other for about 4 months now. It's time, so we're ready to play. Get the exhibition with Florida State on Thursday, and our guys are ready to go against somebody else. So we're excited for the year. Obviously, we lost a lot last year with Sears, first-team All-American. Had 3 really good years for us. Judy just hit a game winner for the Bucks a couple nights ago, so playing well up there with them in some exhibition games. But we not only lost him, we lost Cliff, we lost Grant, lost multiple starters. Chris Youngblood's playing really well on the Thunder's team in the exhibitions. I think he's at 20 and 25 a couple nights. So we lost quite a bit, but I think we've got good talent coming in. We had some guys that were out last year on a medical red shirt that have experience, 2 fifth-year seniors in Houston Millette and Latrell Reitzel, that I think really add something to the team. They're smart, they're tough, they played a lot of basketball. They've got shooting. You had Philon back to the mix. He had a great freshman year, decided to come back after in the draft. Holloway's, I think he made a big jump from his freshman to his sophomore year. His first year with us was his sophomore year, but I think he's going to make a bigger jump. Sophomore to junior year, he's looked really good here in practice. So our backcourt, I feel pretty confident in. Our front court's got we've got depth. We do have skilled guys. Got 2 7-footers that can play on the perimeter, make threes, handle the ball. But we got to get our defensively. Our front court's got to get a little bit better, and we've been on them about it. I think they're making some jumps in practice, so it'll be good to see what they do against another team on Thursday night.
Thank you, Coach. If you have a question, we all have a microphone to you. Karsten and Lorna, let's start right here in front of me in the 3rd row back.
Ben Roberts, Lexington Herald leader. Nate, just how much have you seen the style of play change around you in this league since you've entered it? And I guess, do you take ownership for, some of those changes to a more innovative, I guess, kind of offense around the league?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely changed. I mean, I'm going into year 6. Somebody told me I'm the second longest tenured coach in the league, which is crazy because I haven't been here that long. I don't feel like I'm going into year 7. Rick Barnes has been Tennessee longer than I've been here, but I do think teams are trying to play a little faster, probably spread it out a little bit more, take a few more threes. So some are, some aren't. It's been successful. We've won more SEC games than anybody in the league since we've been here. So we kind of came in, and I think sometimes when most of the league's playing a certain way and you come in and you're doing a lot different, it helps. You're kind of the aberration. the one that's playing a lot different. Well, now we're not the only one playing that way. You see more teams trying to shoot. Even some of the teams that traditionally have been some of the slower teams in the country are trying to play faster now, and I think they see it's been a little more successful offensively. We've led the country in scoring the last 2 years, so it's a little bit easier to recruit to scoring sometimes. So, I don't think I don't want to take credit for changing the league, but, basketball is a copycat game in a sense. You look at the NBA, Warriors went to 5 out. All of a sudden, everybody starts playing 5 out because they won with it. You see Pacers are playing faster than anybody, and the rest of the league's trying to play a little faster now, in OKC. I mean, you just kind of you look at it, college basketball teams try to copy what's been working, and what we've done is worked, in a sense, from year to year, and we've been pretty good year to year. We've been the only team in the country the last 2 years being a top 5 in offensive efficiency too. So I think what we're doing works on offense with the right personnel, and if teams – now I will say some teams I've seen try to go a little bit more 5 out fast, and then it doesn't work because maybe they don't have the right personnel, and then they kind of revert back to what they're a little more comfortable with. So you got to have the right personnel to do it, but I think with the right personnel, some teams have tried to do it and been pretty successful with it.
Coach, we'll go to our left on the front row.
You mentioned in the open that you want to see some more development with the front court defense. What have you seen with the backcourt defense? And also, if you could speak to the depth on the bench that you're seeing developing also.
Yeah, so backcourt defense, I think, significantly improved. Going into the year, you probably would have said, and rightfully so, that Holloway would have been a weak link defensively, particularly in the backcourt. I think his defense has significantly improved. He's doing a great job. He's getting up into guys pressuring the ball. He understands as a smaller guard, he's got to be a lot more of a pest, and I think he's doing it. He's been good. He's put on weight. He's stronger. He's more physical. He's always been super talented offensively, but so you got him playing a lot better. LeBaron's stepped up his game defensively. Reitzel and Houston are both very smart, tough, competitive winners. It's hard to be a winner if you're not playing both sides of the ball. Those two play both sides of the ball. 2 of our freshman perimeter guys can be elite defenders. I think Davion Hanna's is maybe as good of a perimeter defender as this program's seen since maybe Herb Jones. I mean, he's elite. Like he moves. He's 6'6". He's athletic. He's tough. Can guard 1 through 4. Amari Allen's right there with him, 6'7", compete, tough. So I think the depth, the athleticism, the toughness, all those guys are pushing each other. I think it makes our backcourt defense going to be, significantly improved, in my opinion. So, and then the front court, they're coming. I thought today they had a really good day. Yesterday I thought they had a good day. So we just got to get them to continue to improve and give us what they're capable of giving us.
Okay, we'll go right here in the front. Is it over? There we go.
Theodore Fernandez, Bama Central. Coach, you've never shied away from tough non-conference schedules. It feels like it's hit a new level almost with those 5 ranked games, non-conference. What do you want your team to learn from those games, and what do you anticipate just throwing all those guys in new roles, new players into the fire right away? Yeah,
I mean, not so sure that when we put this whole thing together, I was thinking we were going to 4 of the first 5 of the first 6, whatever it is, against top 25 teams. 2 of the first 3 are against top 5 teams. First week of the season, we get St. John's on the road in the Garden. I think it's a cool experience for our guys. Purdue's preseason number 1. They're coming back to our place. We get them at home at least in the 3rd game of the season. So I going all the way back to my high school days, back in Michigan, everybody made the state playoffs. So what's the point of trying to go 20-0 if everybody, and there was no seeding back then either. So you get to the end of your 20 regular season games and everybody starts brand new and you draw a hat and you play the state tournament. So to me, the thing you're trying to do is be most prepared come March. So to me, at this level, is you should be the most prepared team come January for SEC play. I don't think playing 13 cupcakes prepares you for SEC play. So whether we win or lose, and I've never shied away from playing the best schedule in the country. We've had the number one strength of schedule in the country multiple years, had it last year, the year before, I believe. So I think you play the best teams, you figure out where your weaknesses are, and you fix them immediately, and you do it, and you repeat it, and you repeat it. St. John's will expose one weakness, Purdue will expose another one, Illinois will expose another one, Gonzaga, you go through it. So, and you just keep going back to the drawing board, and hopefully you're able to win some of these games, if not all of them. You know, we're going in trying to be competitive and win the games. But if you lose them and you get better, I think I'd much rather be whatever it is, 8-5, 9-4, 10-3, going into conference play, than 13-0 and having no idea what your weaknesses are, where you got to get better, all that, and then all of a sudden you rattle off 4 or 5 straight losses in conference play, and the sky's falling. Let's figure out what we got to get better at in November, December, and get better at it before we hit conference play in January.
Okay, let's go all the way to the back of the room in front of the camera in the center of the room.
NickKellyAL.com. Nate, obviously it's October, but when you look to how close you guys have been to playing for a national championship, potentially winning a national championship the last 2 years, what do you think is the difference there in that gap you guys need to close to pull that off?
You know, I think it's defense. Defensively, we got to get better, and we've known it, and we've tried to focus on it, and we're on it now. You know, we've again these last 2 years, we only team in the country to play in a Final Four and an Elite Eight, both. Only team in the country to be in the top 5 in offensive efficiency. It's defense got to get back. You know, the 2 years that we were able to win the SEC regular season and tournament, both, we were 3rd in the country in defensive efficiency. We haven't been anywhere close to 3rd these last 2 years. If we could get our defense back in the top 10, top 5 in the country in defensive efficiency, I think that's the answer. So until we get it there, we're just going to keep pushing. We're going to keep holding guys accountable. You know, keep showing it, coaching it. I think Coach Brian Adams, our defensive coordinator, I hired him out of the NBA. He's done a great job. I think he's got a year in college now. Last year was his first year. I think he's much more aware as to, you know, a lot of college offenses aren't what the NBA is running. So we got to get better. You know, we're going to run an NBA offense. That's what we guard in practice, but we got to still be able to guard heavy post-ups, heavy flex action. It's stuff they did not run in the NBA too much, but run a lot in college. So we just defensively, if we can get our defense up to where it was, you know, those other 2 years, I think we got shot.
We've got time for one last one over on the right-hand side.
Rodak with 247. Just going back to the copycat thing you started off with, has that created the challenge in terms of trying to stay a step ahead when teams are hiring your coaches and recruiting your players? And then on top of that, what's been the impact of the House settlement and some of that recruiting aspect?
Yeah, so the first one, yeah, more teams are trying to play the way I mean, sure, you look at some of the teams that have had success in this league that maybe weren't, you know, thought Missouri was really good last year. They beat us pretty good at their place, and they did what we try to do well, and they did it better than us. They ran us out of the gym at the start of that game. They shot threes. You know, so different teams are. And I don't even want to say they're trying to copy us. They're just trying to play the way the game basketball's going. I mean, turn an NBA game on? That's the way basketball's going. So they're trying to play more modern basketball. We're trying to stay a step ahead of everybody. You got to keep studying it. You know, with the assistants being able to get head jobs, I'm super happy for all of them. It makes it a little harder with staff continuity, but it also gives you an opportunity to hire some fresh ideas in, if you will. You know, we were able to hire Brian Adams from the NBA, who's in the NBA for 16 years, runs our defense. I was able to hire Chris Fleming in. You know, Chris Shu was a front of the bench assistant for 10 years in the NBA. He was a German national team head coach. He coached Dirk, Dennis Schroeder, I mean, all those high-level German guys on the German national team. He's coached in Germany for a long time. He brings in fresh ideas, you know, was able to hire Preston Murphy. I think he's one of the best assistant coaches in the country. So we get the opportunity to hire in other really good coaches to bring new ideas and try to stay a step ahead of what everybody else is doing. And we just got to work hard. We got to continue to progress. I got to continue to get better. I got to study it. I got to stay on it so we can try to stay a step ahead of what everybody else does. The house settlement, I mean, it's, tell me what the rules are. We'll play by the rules and let's figure them out. And they're changing every year. So as long as I know what they are, and I'm not going to, I think the guys that complain about it don't figure out how to work within them. Just give us what the rules are. They're figuring out what they should be. I mean, the settlement got passed, but there's still a lot of stuff figuring out. So I think our administration does a great job filling our coaching staff in. I think the SEC, I've had multiple talks with Garth on different stuff. Just let me know what the rules are. We'll figure them out. I'm not going to complain about what they are. Let's figure it out. I think it's great that our student athletes are able to get compensated. There's a lot of money in college sports. They're the ones playing. They should be able to get a piece of the pie. Just tell us what the rules are. If we get everybody to follow the rules and you give us what the rules are, we figure it out, and then we just put a team out there and compete.
Coach Oats, thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thanks.